I'm delighted to welcome the former Leinster Ireland international Lions star and the current Leinster contact skills coach Seán O'Brien to the show this morning. Seán speaking ahead of the Ireland versus England Legends charity match, which will take place in Energia Park, Donnybrook on St Patrick's Day in aid of rugby charities both in Ireland and the UK. Tickets are available to purchase on universe.com. Seán, good morning. The term charity match usually says they're going to take it easy, it's nice and handy, but Ireland versus England never really pans out that way, does it? It'll get quite competitive, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit competitive anyway. But I think from previous years, it's been a very good spirited game anyway, and nothing too major happens. So it's more about the after party, and the charity is what more people are focused on rather than the rugby. So, but it should be an entertaining game, and looking forward to being a part of it.
Presumably you have to keep yourself in decent nick then for all of these charity matches that crop up, because you just never know when you're going to get the call up.
Well, I'm back training there now. I pulled a hammy off the bone 4.5 months ago now, so I'm back. Hopefully back with Nace in the next couple of weeks. But I think that game will be my intro back into rugby as such. So yeah, I'm training away and keeping myself in reasonable condition anyway.
We'll take a good look ahead to this weekend's game. Seán, Scotland-Ireland, Murrayfield, Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. It's always a fixture that brings up a little bit of spice in the build-up. 2017, I guess, and Bustgate being one of the famous incidents, the 27-22 defeat for Ireland on that occasion. What do you remember about that day? Because Murrayfield is a tough place to go, generally speaking, but when you have, I guess, an incident that derails the build-up to the kick-off, doesn't help matters.
No, it doesn't, I suppose. And I think, everyone's talking about 2017 and even 2014 as well, and a few bits and pieces like that. They're bringing up the past. I think this whole team is just in a different mindset now, in a different place completely. So nothing really phases them. I think they've prepped really well, obviously, and you can see that in the way they've attacked the first 3 games. So nothing will change, I don't think, this weekend. The one thing that I'm worried about is that Scotland have been playing the best rugby they've played in the last few years. So their attack is very good, their defence is very good, their set piece is really strong. So they have developments to their game that have improved an awful amount, and they're a very dangerous side. So Ireland will have to be defensively brilliant this weekend to negate the threats that Scotland have.
How much do you read into the Italy game, Seán? Like on the one level, Ireland coughed up a few tries, weren't great, but on the other, like, it's surely good to come through a challenge like that as well, and to maybe learn more about the team as well and the players on the fringes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think if you look back at the game and you break it down, the minute details of it, it was the basics that we didn't do really well at times against Italy. Whether that be a defensive read or a silly offload or a 50-50 ball. And to be fair to Italy, I think they've grown an awful amount. Their attack, even though at times it's chaotic and madness from their own 22, I think their attack has come on leaps and bounds. And the one thing that Italy are good at in this championship is they've been very disciplined, which in previous years has been very, very poor. And that's probably the thing that gives teams access, is discipline and how good you are at it. So Italy, to be fair, have come on an awful amount, and they've given every game they've been involved in, they've caused trouble. So they're getting a lot better. So you have to give hats off to them first. And then Ireland just weren't clinical enough with that decision making, I thought, at times, and the smarts around the game. But they'll have learned a lot from that, and they know if they defend like that this weekend, that they'll be in big trouble.
That Scottish centre partnership, Seán, is concerning for Ireland, something to certainly have to contend with. We were discussing Finn Russell there before you came on. I know we had to go back and play with Racing last weekend, part of his contract, which is maybe a minor distraction that he didn't need during the Six Nations, but c'est la vie. How can Ireland contend with that pairing? Because it clearly, looking on paper, is one of the areas that Scotland will be most dangerous.
Yeah, they will. Their whole backline is very dangerous. I think the important thing for Ireland is to not defend any individuals, and defend as one big green wall. I think if you start really going after Russell, and everyone has that mindset to go after Russell or to go after Hugh Jones or whoever it may be that's playing, it's that's what they want. Finn Russell wants someone to jump out at him. Finn Russell wants someone to put a lot of pressure on him, because there's space either side of him then. So if people aren't connected, or the defensive line isn't connected with Finn Russell in front of you, you're asking for trouble. So it's just about staying connected, and the micro chat and communication that the boys will have this weekend will be very important about when to go get him, when they're together, or when not to go and get him and just keep our line. So it's important that he feels pressure, but the right pressure, and not individual pressure where someone's just trying to go and solve something or try and shut him down quickly. It's going to be a team effort, I think, defensively this weekend.
It's funny, I'm looking at one of the comments coming in here on the YouTube. Scotland will want to leave the stadium after 5 minutes. It will be too easy for Ireland. Like Andy Dunn was on with Jerry Thornley on, I think it was Wednesday night rugby last weekend, and he was saying he thinks Ireland will, very confident. Ireland will do a number on them, I think is the phrase he used. 12 to 15 points, that kind of bracket. Sean, it strikes me that this Irish team, regardless of all this talk and the hype and expectation in some quarters that Ireland will, quote unquote, do a number on Scotland, there seems to be no complacency in this Irish squad whatsoever.
No, I don't think there is at the minute. And people will obviously expect Ireland to win against Scotland at the weekend, and the lads probably expect to win obviously as well and want to win, but it's a different kettle of fish going over into the middle of Murrayfield with a very dangerous Scottish team that are in a different place than they were 12 months ago. So that they have to contend with that first and foremost, and make sure physically they're there early on in the game. And I think Ireland will win obviously, and I think they'll break them eventually. But there's a lot of factors in the game, and as I said, defensively, I think they're going to have to be brilliant this weekend. But I'd be very wary of this game. This is the one that I said at the start of the championship that was going to be the trickiest. So I don't think it'll be 12 or 15 points, but I think there'll probably be, it could be 6 or 9 maybe in the end. But it's going to be a cracking weekend, I think, for rugby.
How would you assess the respective packs in the game?
I think the Scottish scrum is flying at the minute, and their set piece has been pretty good. I think Ireland would be. I'd say they're disappointed with what they got out of their line-out attack the last time, and there's little elements in the scrum. So I think we'll hopefully see a different animal now this weekend, because they're going to have to be better. So it's fairly evenly matched, I think, and you have the likes of Tig and these boys as well are coming back in, so Ireland will have a bit of fresh energy there. That's
an excellent point. Like the fact that Ireland have managed to do so well, Sean, without Jamison Gibson Park, without Tig Furlong, some of these players that are so important, Robbie Henshaw being another one as well. The strength and depth is clearly there, and I'm not getting too far ahead of myself thinking about Ireland Scotland in Paris on October 7th, but to win a World Cup or to get deep into a tournament like that, you need that strength and depth, and clearly that's there.
Yeah, it is there now, and I think I said during the week, I think there's going to be more players that are going to put their hands up in the coming months. There's a lot of rugby to be played between now and the World Cup, so it's great that Ireland can be successful without a Tig Furlong, James Gibson Park, Robbie Henshaw, even a Gary Ringrose the last time. They're key players within that team. So it's great that we have the depth now and the people and the confidence in those people to just go, here, you're starting this weekend, and it's seamless. You look at someone like Tom O'Toole, like how good he's been since he's come in. He's been brilliant. And the centres, McCluskey, brilliant as well. So I'm glad to see all those boys that are actually taking their chance now and going really well.
Tom O'Toole, could he do a job from the start? On the other side of things, I guess Tig Furlong, it depends how fit he is, whether he starts the game or not. But O'Toole has been a revelation and done the job, as you say, exactly what it says on the tin. Every time he's come in, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I think Tom will have a lot of confidence from what the impact he's had on games since he's come in. So if he were to start him, I don't see why he wouldn't have that confidence and add to the game what he brings with the ball carrying ability and his work rate. So it's great to have tight heads that are able to do that throughout our squad. So yeah, he's been very good. He's been excellent in the games he's come on. He made a real impact. So it's great to see, and because you would worry about that position up until a couple of months ago, you'd worry about the depth we have there, but we've covered now, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah, is there clarity in the out-half situation now, Sean? Do you think?
I think there is. Yeah, I think there is. I still think Ross has done very well. I think he would have been probably frustrated after the last game in terms of just the cohesion between him and Stu and Bundy probably wasn't where it needed to be, in terms of, like, he has two big boys outside him trying to move around, trying to communicate. They're different kind of to a Ringer or a Henshaw in terms of the communication and the way they're able to work off the ball. So, but I do think he's been excellent. And then you have someone like Jack in the background there that's involved in the squad, seeing what's going on, learning from the likes of Johnny, learning from Ross as well. Young player who has a bit about him. I really like him. I like the way he likes contact as well. He likes getting involved in breakdowns and bits and pieces. And he's a niggly player. For a 10, it's great to have. So to have that depth now, and then underneath that, then you have another few boys who are chomping at the bit to get back in.
Where's Caelan Doris' best position, Sean? Because he played the first two games at number 8, number 6 against Italy. Seems to have that little bit more. He seems to enjoy number 8 slightly more and have that little bit of freedom. But where do you think he's best utilised? It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. I think 8 is his position, though. It's just where he has played his best rugby, isn't it? So, that's him nailed on there in my head anyway. I don't think there's anyone really challenging him too much at the minute in that 8 jersey. So he's just been phenomenal, though. His stats and his work rate and his little touches and his skill set has been phenomenal, really. And one of the things that makes Ireland really good at the minute. He's a very, very important player for us.
That thing you mentioned about young players getting a chance and Andy Farrell not being afraid to kind of change things around game to game. Players like John Hodnett, Jamie Osborne that maybe aren't getting massive game time at the moment, they can stay encouraged, and even for that 32-man World Cup squad, they can be massively encouraged because Andy Farrell clearly has no issues throwing youth in there.
Absolutely, and I think, as I said, there's a bit of rugby to be played between now and then. So those boys are going to challenge, obviously. Those boys are going to be, they're the ones who are chasing the boys who are in that position at the minute. And you even have the likes of Ryan Baird as well, who's trying to kick on and push on. So the senior lads or the older crew that's in there are going to be under pressure. They know that there's pressure there, but on the flip side of that, it drives them to be better. It drives their standards as well. So it's a great place that the whole environment is in, and the depth that we have, and the younger guys that aren't even in the environment that are playing well week in, week out with their provinces. So it's positive in terms of who we have in the production line and where they're going. So it's a great place for Irish rugby to be in, and a great place for provinces to be in too.
Predictions, Sean, for this weekend. You sound reasonably confident, but as you say, it's tough. It's tough to do a Grand Slam when the teams are so evenly matched at the moment, and Scotland look different than they have done in previous years.
Absolutely, and I said at the start of the year that I didn't think there would be a Grand Slam winner, but just seeing the way the Irish team have gone about their business, it is a possibility. Obviously, I'd love to see it. I still think Ireland will be too good this weekend, so I'm going to say Ireland by 6.
We take that. I think we take that. Are there any mad team selections or players you'd throw into the starting 15? Just looking at the squad, you've got Kieran Frawley back in, Sexton of course back in the team, no place for Joey Carberry again, but there are options there.
Yeah, there are options there. There's lots of options. I don't think I'd like the selection. I think Andy and the coaching staff have been spot on, in my eyes anyway. It's been great. It's great balance, I think, within the team. And they tried a few things in Italy. Some of them might need a bit of fine tuning, but in general, I think the team kind of picks itself at the minute when everyone is fit, and the bench we have is incredibly strong now as well. So it's a great complaint to have.
Yeah, it's all positive. All roads to Murrayfield this Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Seán, great stuff as always. Thanks a million.
Thanks, lads. Cheers.
Brilliant. Seán O'Brien there. Looking ahead to Scotland versus Ireland this weekend.